everyone, it's Caroline here from Ballacondoola, and today I am talking about my favourite plant, this one. This here is Ribworth plantain, and it is my number one most used favourite medicinal herb that grows in my back garden. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see. Everybody in Ireland recognises plantain. Everybody knows it. You recognise it by the black husk. Do you see it there? This one is just going to seed. That's all the little white things around it. This one hasn't gone to seed. Sometimes you just see the plant with these in it. Sometimes you just see it with the leaves. This one is nice and nibbled here. Let me see if I can get a fresher one. Hold on. This one here is all leaf. This one doesn't have, oh look, there's a little husk sticking out here. And the reason I love Ribworth plantain so much is that it is without doubt the most used herb in our house. It is my number one go-to first aid herb, and it's grown everywhere. And if you have some grown in your garden, you should clear a little area, put it in a pot or put it near the front door, because that's how useful it is. It's good for loads of different things, and there's kind of three main things. And the number one thing, which is really number one for me, is insect bites and stings. Now, I am just one of those, oh sorry, the sun is really bad there. I am one of those people that just absolutely, insects seek me out to go chomping on me, biting me, and it's really bad every single year. I used to, before I kind of realised how amazing plantain was, every year I used to go to the chemist and I'd have to have the tablets in stock and the creams and everything, because horseflies would just seek me out and cause me an awful lot of bother. And now when I'd get bitten by a horsefly, I wouldn't just get bitten by a horsefly and get a small little red pinch or lump or anything like that. The whole back of my leg would swell up. And that's usually where they'd get me. I'd go out and do the washing line or something. I'd come in, I could have 4 horsefly bites, where I'd have to get the barrow out and I'd be marking it and checking to see how much bigger the big red area is getting, because you can end up getting cellulose and stuff like that, or cellulitis, not cellulose. So really caused me a big problem. It'd be so sore, it'd be really swollen. Sometimes it'd even be weeping, you know. Hiya, how you doing? I'm just picking some plantain here. So yeah, so I had a really bad time, like so much so that when I'd be going out for walks and everything on sunny days, hi teddy bear,
hi,
I would be really anxious and worried, and be wearing long pants and jeans and things, and be all worried and be putting all these sprays and oils and stuff on me in case I got bitten, because it really caused me. But as soon as I get bitten like that, it'd be pain and suffering at night time, through the day. It'd take ages for them to finally go away. And then I discovered plantain. I had always seen it, and but was curious to know what it was used for, and I couldn't believe it when I said it was really good for insect bites and stings. So as an example, the first year that I started using it, I got a horsefly bite and got a piece of plantain. All you do is pop it in your mouth, chew it up till it gets a little bit juicy, stick it on like a poultice.
I found this stick now, and I put it in, and now taste
Wow.
it.
Oh, well, maybe we could get one for him as well and put it in a different place. That might be an idea. And stick it on. If I pick the plantain somewhere that I don't know that it wasn't sprayed, like it's happened to me when I've been out for a walk and I grab a piece on the side of the road, I'll just squish it up in my hand and keep doing this until I can get juice out of it, and then rub it on. Hold on. Rub it on until you can get the juice out of it, like you do with a dock leaf. So, or even get it to
My shovel in.
I'll bring your shovel in. Good boy. But yeah, so I put a poultice on it, and by making a poultice, I mean getting the juices to come out in it, sticking on where the bite is, and that's Coco breathing, not me breathing really heavily. And get a plaster or something, anything at all that'll get it to just stay on the spot, because what plantain does is it sucks out toxins and impurities and all the bad things out of stings, wounds, cuts and bites. So you stick it on, it's going to draw out all the nasty stuff, which is what makes you all really sore anyway. And I did this the first few times. When I took it off, there was actually nothing left there. There was just the tiny little pinprick of a mark where you could see where the fly bit me. I couldn't believe it. Like, this is what was a real convert to everybody in my house, to use herbs first. As our first go-to remedy for all things. If I didn't get a poultice on it straight away, and just kind of rubbed some of the juice on it, it helped it loads, but it would still get kind of big and sore. If I use the salve, I make salve out of plantain now and put it on it, it works really well. It stops it from getting humongous and big. There'll still be a little mark there. It really helps and soothes it for night time, and the itching, the stinging, and anything like that. But the poultice is the best one. If you get the poultice on it straight away, there's literally like not even a mark left. But the cream is really good as well, so I like keep that in the car. We use it for the kids, use it for midgy bites, anything like that as well. And another year actually I got a wasp sting, and straight away I got a leaf of plantain, chewed it up, shoved it on, just stuck it on with whatever I had there, maybe even just, I don't know, did I put it kind of, it was underneath the back of my shorts, and just got it to stay in place for a little while. There was nothing left, absolutely nothing. I had no mark, I had no pain from the bee sting. It was like miraculous. And later on that summer, the same thing happened. I was out working outside and I got another sting from a wasp, and I kind of didn't react as quickly. I was like, oh, sure, I'll just get plantain on it later, it'll be grand. And I left it for about an hour or so, and it was getting kind of sore, and then I got the poultice on it, and it was, look, it really helped, but it didn't do the same thing. Getting it on it straight away was like amazing. It just like completely eradicated the pain. It obviously pulled out the sting. So it helped. When I put the poultice on it, it really helped. I kept one on it overnight and everything, the wasp sting, and then I was way better. And we've had loads of wasp and bee stings in our house, so they can be really, really painful, really sore. So it's so amazing that we have a remedy for it. So that's the first thing, bites and stings. And actually as well, like if you get a cut, or if the kids have a cut and it's dirty and you clean it and you're not sure if everything has gone out of it, you can make a plantain poultice to put on it as well, because it will draw out any bad things that are still lurking in there. Even the last day I was walking around outside and something went up through my runner, up into my foot, and I got a puncture wound, and I went inside, I cleaned my wound, I squeezed it out to get made sure that it was bleeding, which is really good. In order to prevent tetanus and stuff like that, make sure that you get the wound is aerated and you get blood, and blood will take out some of the stuff as well. But cleaned it off with colloidal silver, and then I put a plantain poultice on it and stuck it on with a couple of plasters and went on my merry way. And yeah, that's kind of the way that I treat them sort of things in my house. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a mommy who's figured out lots of different things, and that's just what I do. It's just another way that I use it. So what else can you use plantain for? Well, the salve is also really good, and the plant for nettle burns. And I put up a little post there the last day of poor Thady, who fell into a huge pile of nettles somewhere around here actually, and it might be over here. Hold on, I turn it. Yeah, I think it was over here somewhere. That huge big pile of nettles. He was scalded in his face, his poor little face. He's only 2. He was covered in nettle burns all around his cheek and underneath his chin and everything. And the boys brought him inside, and straight away I had thankfully only a small bit of salve left, but I had it there on the kitchen table, and lathered his face in it. And now within like 30 seconds he stopped crying. 10 minutes later I took a picture straight away, because it has happened before, and I was like, I really should monitor it to see how good it actually works, the salve for nettle burns. So I took a picture. 10 minutes later I'd nearly kind of forgotten about it, because he'd stopped crying and he wasn't really bothered. I brought him over and checked it out, and you could still see a few of the lumps, but it was like nearly gone. And half an hour later, gone, nothing. Like his cheek was a little bit red, but there was no lumps anywhere, no discomfort. He had forgotten that he got a nettle burn, a really bad nettle burn. So like, it's just amazing. I mean, like, we made that just from our back garden using just plantain and olive oil and beeswax. So that was pretty cool. And the next thing you can use plantain for is for respiratory issues, for anything coughs and colds. I'm making I made it last night actually. I made a little plantain succus. I'll have it in the video later on. which is just like a cough syrup using the juice, the plantain, and honey for coughs. It's good for all things to do with your lungs and your respiratory system. You can make it, you can drink the tea, or you can make a tincture, or you can do the little cough syrup like what I have done, just using raw honey. So for any mild bronchitis and things like that, it's always going to help. Even if you're very sick, it'll help alongside. You can drink the tea, anybody can drink it alongside any other remedies that you're using. And what else can you use plantain for? Oh yeah, another thing that's really helpful, especially for me because I suffer from IBS, is that it's really good for IBS symptoms. You can use the succus for that as well, actually, but I don't really use honey now, only just for medicinally when I need it, but it's very good for stomach ulcers, and it's really good for IBS symptoms, and it really helps to soothe the gut lining, for anybody who has any sort of digestive complaints or digestive issues like IBS. It's another thing, and that, like, you'll find out if you're interested in herbs and natural medicine, that so many of our plants that grow in our back garden are really good for all these issues that so many of us have now, and we have them because of our diet and the processed food that we buy in the shops, and sometimes it's unavoidable because we have to buy food, but it has ruined our digestion has ruined our gut flora, our gut microbiome, and it's what's causing so many of these digestive issues and allergies and stuff that we have now. It's because we're putting all this stuff in. It's not supposed to be in our bodies. And look, at nature has the remedies, and it has the stuff that's good for our insides. So that's another thing that it's good for. And yeah, so I'm going to put on a little video after this of just when we're running around the fields getting some of our plantain the last day. We got loads. I'm nearly finished processing everything now, and I just thought I'd do a little introductory into what plantain is good for. Another thing I'm after thinking of there as well, actually, is that plantain is also really good for skin healing. And as we've been making up the salves, I started to make them originally because of how good they were with insect bites and with nettle stings and stuff, but we started using it for all sorts of skin things, including nappy rash. So when the small boys were smaller, we had one incident where one of them had a really bad nappy rash, and it was really blistered, and the normal calendula cream that I use, it just wasn't working. I tried everything, and I just said I'd give it a go. I'd use the plantain salve and see did it work. And between that nappy change and the next one, the blisters were totally gone, and his skin was starting to heal again, and it was just absolutely amazing. So we now use plantain salve for everything. When I'm making them, sometimes I'll make some calendula oil later on the summer when the calendula is out, and as long as I have enough plantain oil, infused oil made this time of year, I'll save some, and we'll make a couple of batches of plantain and calendula salve. But even just the plantain on its own, because it has really good healing properties, so it's really good for any sort of skin issues that you might have. Another instant was sometimes actually I put plantain with some good quality lavender essential oil in my salve, which is really good for sore insect bites as well as stings and burns. Lavender is really good for burns, even though you might not think that because it's such a really perfumy smell. But yeah, we had an instant where somebody got burnt with melted plastic fell onto their hand, and it absolutely scalded them. And immediately I put on a big load of the plantain and lavender salve onto it, covered the hand, and we did all of the the cold water and all that as well, covered it in cling film and under the tap, and the pain went away really quickly, and they were in absolute agony. They couldn't believe it, and they were really surprised. So they now keep a jar of the plantain and lavender salve in their house as well. So that was another good plantain story. So in case you haven't noticed, I love plantain. So that's it. That's all the information I could think of about plantain for the minute. So I'm going to show you a little video of us foraging on Sunday. I had loads of videos, and my phone did something and deleted almost everything, but I have a couple of little videos of us going around the fields collecting our plantain, and then I have documented then what to do with it afterwards. So I might probably break that up into 2 videos because it'll be a little bit long. So get your baskets or your boxes or your plastic bag or whatever you have hanging around the house. Get out and get foraging for plantain. Now is the time to do it. You won't be sorry that you have the oil there ready to use in 6 weeks time. So, and the weather is perfect this week to get out and do it. Okay, have fun. Bye. Hello everybody. Grab your foraging baskets. Let's go.
It's Granddad's coming.
Grandad's not coming.
I'm on dandelion.
You can leave your car there. Noah's going looking for dandelion root with the big shovel because you really need a shovel. Oh, good, you have some there already. You don't need a big shovel because we're going to go looking for a plantain. So here, that's Teddy's basket, and I have a big box here for you, Lennon. Now, let's go.
Let's go and pick.
Hey ho, let's go. Look, it's everywhere. Look at, you know what it looks like. And look at, we won't pick that leaf. Do you see that?
Why?
Because the insects have really nibbled away at that a little bit too much. So we don't get the ones where the insects are eating them. Okay?
Oh, we got one.
Oh, show us, yeah. Let us have a look. Look at that dandelion root. See, look at the size of it. It's so thick. See, can you see it better there now? Let's see. It is huge. So you know when people are trying to, excuse my nails, it's just from digging in the dirt. When people are trying to pull the weeds from their driveway or dandelions and things like that, they don't like them. And why they always come back is because look at the size of the root, and that's actually snapped. So like that goes way down.
Yeah, I accidentally.
Oh yeah, but it's near impossible to get it. So I have all the leaves there, which is great for my tincture, and because I'm going to be doing an infused oil as well. And you'll be using every part of the plant for tincture and for that. And the root, we might make some dandelion coffee, which is really good. Yeah, it's gorgeous. You found a little one, good man.
I found.
You found one, look at them. Oh wow, isn't that just the most beautiful plantain plant you've ever seen? It's gorgeous, look at it. So there is so much here in this field, so it's not like there's loads and loads and loads and loads. And there's a few fields there. We're not taking too much because it is just everywhere. These fields are introduced, so it's a perfect natural wild meadow actually here. Oh, it is gorgeous. We have loads. Yes.
I have look. I have look.
And it's oh, look what's behind me here actually as well. Well, can you see the yellow dots? I'm going to go up there in a little while. We've got firs, and now they're nearly. A few weeks ago they were really perfect. But you can eat the leaves of the firs as well. The lovely yellow ones. You can put them into a salad. We might pick some for our salad. You got two. Look at. Wow.
It's a bunch of them in the field.
But you can use firs. I did a firs, or gorse is another word for it, a gorse lemon curd before, and it was lovely. It's really very slight taste, tiny bit kind of coconutty. It's not like a really pungent taste. I don't think there's any medicinal value or purposes to it or anything like that, but it is edible. It's got a little bit of a hint of flavour. I'm sure that it's got some good stuff in there as well. But you can do that. I don't think I'm going to do this year because I didn't pick enough, but it's something you can do. Or you can put them in your salad. It's pretty looking. It's just an idea of some of the food that I brought today. Very last minute, decided to throw these things together last night and this morning. I hadn't planned on doing the little campfire, which we've done, which is coming out really nice. Got our sausages cooking away there. Got some organic chickpea and whole grain pasta for the kids, pesto pasta. Some organic homemade coleslaw. I made some for dinner yesterday and just bulk made some for today. And we've got our organic chicken and tomatoes. And just the last of some of the things in the house, like some of the cashews for the kids, strawberries, our own eggs, some yummy butter. Got some gherkins for the kids in the shop. They'll have some hot dogs. I don't eat grains, so I won't be eating them. And I made some organic spelt bread. I made a big one here. This one is a little bit burnt, and I also got the bread knife, so we'd have fun trying to cut it with that. And some milk and our coffee and our tea and our mayonnaise and stuff. Some extra ham and cheese we got en route today because I was all out of the cheese we usually get at home, which is a raw milk cheese, but this is fine. Look, I buy in mostly organic when I'm doing our own shopping, do our very best to make them good food choices. But you know, when we're out and about and we don't have that option readily available, we'll just make do and do the best we can. Yeah, so everyone's getting nice and hungry. So we've plenty here for all the people. the meat-based eaters and the organic eaters and the kids who eat some green. Sausages are cooking really nicely. They're looking yum on our little makeshift campfire. They're kind of stuck there now, so I probably need to fix them up a little bit. Yeah, but they're coming along nicely. So, everyone's hungry because we're all working hard. I just want to show you this little plant here as well before I finish up for the day, because it is everywhere here. Oh, let's go out of it. It is called ground elder, and it's called ground elder because it looks really like the elder flowers when it starts to flower. It looks like the flowers from the elder flower tree, but it grows low on the ground. I think it can go up. Look, that's like about a foot off the ground now already. But I've mowed down loads already. It's edible. You can put it in a salad, but it is hugely invasive. It just takes over everywhere. Unlike the walls of vegetable patch here now, and it's really, really hard to plant vegetables because it just takes over everywhere. So it's really hard to manage, but you can eat it. Oh, it's ground elder. It's quite pretty when the flowers come out. Some raspberries. Some raspberries. That's blackcurrant. I think that's red currant. It's really hard to tell the difference. That's it for my foraging for today. My battery's about to go and we're finished up here for the day. I'm looking at these lovely apple blossoms. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back for the next part, which will be making salves, making tinctures, drying our herbs and all of that. That's my foraging for today. Just when I clock off for the evening, on the way out I find some wild strawberries. I see them mixed intermittently here amongst all of the weeds and the ground elder, so I'm going to pick some of them and I'm going to put them in their own little designated area. Bring a few home. They're really, really nice, and these are native strawberries that grow here in Ireland. They're quite small, they're lovely, and they grow really well. Before I finish up for the evening, just home again now and look at all the stuff that we foraged today. This is all of the dandelions with the root on that Noah got for me, and even though it looks like loads now, I'll show you. I'll scrub the roots and we'll use them, and I'll use a little bit for dandelion coffee, but for dandelion coffee you need a lot of roots really, but it is really lovely. It just takes a bit of effort. Here are the wild strawberries that I got. Can't wait to plant them down. These are all the rockets, which will be lovely when I start to plant all the stuff along here, which I haven't done yet. I have them all just kind of ready. The pear tree. What have we got here? Oh, the wild primroses that I got down the field. They're lovely. I'm going to put them in along somewhere. Some forget-me-nots. That's all our plantain. And a bit of our... let's stick them away. Some gorse flowers, Thedes ones and Lennon's ones. There's some more dandelions there, and that's mostly all nettles. I'll have tingly fingers. And I must have about, oh my gosh, just at a guess, I'd say I have at least 60 sycamore trees there anyway. And a lovely whitethorn. Oh, I'm just soaking my dandelion roots in a huge big pot now, because I'm just heading out for a little while to do a bit of shopping. I've got a big pot of plantain, and I've just put a dash of apple cider vinegar in them just to start them off. That's just my nettles. I've just shaken them out there on the table, and anything that needs to crawl away from it. Some more dandelions will be done when I come back. You can just chop off the root of the dandelion. You can do it any way you want. Just you need to really scrub the root. So I'm just going to soak them a little bit because they're really, really dirty and kind of gnarled. And when I come back, then I'm going to separate the root and the leaves and stuff, and then clean them in, separately. It's just easier, but whatever way, just as long as they're clean. So I'm just cleaning off some of the plantain. I'm just doing it in a really big pot, and all I've done is put a little bit of apple cider vinegar, the mother in it, and given it a good rinse, and then I'll take every piece out then, and I'll make sure that it's just nice and clean. Like that. I'll leave it up on the draining board. I'll show you when I have a bit more done. Very easy to clean the plantain. You can see when it's dirty. The dandelion root is a little bit more work to it. So when I have all this done, I'll show you some more. We've got loads so far. Now I've just finished washing all the plantain. I have absolutely loads. So I'm just going to gently towel dry that even. Try not to bruise it, just so that it's not very wet. And then I'll show you what I want to do with it next. Right, here's my really fancy drying rack. I'm just using a huge big box. I don't have anything fancy. I've just put some newspaper at the bottom of it. And I'll just put it in here and toss that about for a while until this evening. And this evening, when everything is, I'm sure that everything is nice and dry and a little bit wilted, I will chop them up and go on to the next stage of the process, because especially when we're going to be putting them in oil, you don't want there to be water on them. You want to make sure that they're nice and dry, because there's more chance of it going rancid if there's water in it, if the moisture is there. So I've dried them off with a towel, but I've newspaper under here, and I'm going to toss them about and put it in a nice kind of sunny, airy place now for the rest of the day, whilst I'm doing the nettles as well. And the dandelions are going to take me a bit of time to scrub. A little bit of a tedious job, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. I kind of break up the process, maybe even over 3 days, but you just have to make sure that you do. I picked all of these yesterday, so they've wilted a little bit, which is actually good. It's fine, especially for if when you're using them fresh. It's no harm having them wilted when you're making your infused oil and your tincture or whatever, because it does make it less likely that you're going to get it rancid. Some people dry them first and then make the oils or make the tinctures. That's fine too. I just don't have the time to do it, so this is just the way that I do it, and I'm sure there's loads of other ways that are better or different or whatever, but this is what I find works for me. I picked them all yesterday. We did our foraging trip yesterday. I left them out last night to make sure any insects or anything would crawl off it, and plus it was late when I came home, so my first day was foraging, my second day is washing and cleaning, and by tonight I will have chopped them and put them in. But I wouldn't even mind actually leaving them until tomorrow either, and chopping them and doing them tomorrow. I'll see how my day goes. Plantain is washed and dried and airing out here. I'm onto my dandelions and my really dirty dandelion root, which I really want, that needs really good scrubbing. So, and then the easiest ones are the nettles. They're just all sitting here waiting for me. They're really easy to do. So I'm going to crack on. I meant to say, if I had room, or if it wasn't so late in the day. Is this upside down? Hold on. Yeah, I meant to say as well, if I had time, I might even just spread these all out on the big kitchen table, or if you have a big surface in your house where you can just put them out to make sure they're all dry and give them a bit of airing time, that's ideal. Today I don't, because we need the table and there's lots going on. So with the box, I can move it around the place. I can take it off the table. I can put it in a different place in the kitchen. I can bring it outside for a little while. I can change the newspaper, make sure that everything is dry. It's just versatile for me. It's not the ideal thing. It's what I'm doing today, and loads of ways to do things, and you get the same outcome. So Rowan is doing the dinner for us today because I'm so busy with my prepping all my stuff, all my foraging herbs. So thanks, Rowan. This lot is a little bit more tedious, a little bit more work to it. Let's get cracking. I'm dumping them all in the sink here, and then when it's all really clean and washed, then I'll give it another final wash with water and cider vinegar. But first off, let's get rid of all this dirt. Okay, so this wasn't as bad as I thought. So this is stage 1 done. Once I washed out, and you kind of pull out all of the bits of grass and stuff that were stuck on it and give it a bit of a wash, it was actually quicker than I thought. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to chop the root off, or I'm going to rather chop the leaves off. So I'll separate the leaves and I'll put them aside for giving them a good wash, and then they're ready for using. I'm going to take off the flowers that I might be drying, and I'm going to chop the root off and then give it a really good scrub, because you see there's still loads of dirt on them, but you can't get into that unless you have the rest of the leaf taken off. It was just handy when Noah was picking them yesterday with the shovel to pull it all up together like that. So on to the next stage. So you see, I'm going to try and do this left-handed now, which is kind of awkward. I'm just separating the root, popping that in there, and let me just chop that bottom piece off. Not easy, one-handed with my left hand. And then I'm popping all my leaves into this bowl. These are just seed heads that are gone to seed, so I'm not going to use them. But any that do have the flowers, I'll be using them. So I'll pop them in. Actually, I might get a separate bowl for them because it'll make it a little bit handier. So we've finally separated them all out, and look, after all that and the nearly a full bag yesterday that Noah pulled up and dug up, we would have imagined we had loads. Now we have loads of leaves and they're going to be so good and they look great for I'll use them in the tincture and I'll use them for drying for tea. And look at the root, like you'd imagine we would have had way more, and I have to give that its second wash. It's just separated, so when it looks like more now, there's still big huge chunks of dirt there. And that's all the flowers I have, only a tiny bit. So if I get a chance later on this week, I'm actually going to go and do more flowers because I want to do an infused oil with the flower heads for using from when I'm making my balms in a few weeks' time. I want to make a mussel balm and I really want to use dandelion in that. So, and it's usually the flower heads that you use. So I didn't get very many flower heads. They're mostly all gone to seed. So anyway, we're on to the next stage. This will just get its wash now with a little bit of water and cider vinegar. I'll scrub them. There's not that many in it, but I'll scrub as much dirt off as I can. And we'll have them ready, and it'll be tomorrow before I do anything else with these. I think I'll dry them off and put them in another box, fancy box. And yeah, we'll go from there. Because it's busy now. We've got hurling and camogie this evening, and I only say that because even when it's really busy, you can do these things. You can split it up. It's a process. It's totally doable. Yesterday was busy collecting everything, but it was a great fun day out for the kids, and plus everybody was doing bits and pieces working outside. Today, in between doing the shopping and stuff like that, we've managed to get the plantain all washed and sorted, and that's out drying. Rowan helped with the dinner. It was very simple. We used up the leftover pasta from yesterday and we just put on a bit of fresh mince. And yeah, flat out then for the rest of the evening. So we'll see what we get done. We'll do our best, and it's a process. So it doesn't all have to be done in a day. It's actually better to do it over a couple of days. Just make sure that you do each something every day so that you don't go to all the trouble of foraging stuff and then you go leaving them in a box or a basket or a bag or something, and then they're all started to go mouldy or whatever, and you'd say, oh, after all the effort of doing that, I should have just continued on and done a little bit every day. And you'll be so happy. When it comes to making the salves, it's great fun. So once you have these up and in their jars, and any sort of jar, I have Gilner jars, I have jam jars, I have Sata jars, anything that's got a sealed lid, you can use it. And your extra virgin olive oil and your vodka for the tincture. So extra virgin olive oil and vodka is all we need for the time being. And right now, all we need to do is do a bit more cleaning. Right, so I am going to put these aside. I'm going to chop them up small. I'm going to come out a little bit. And I'm going to use these ones. I haven't got a huge amount again. We didn't get as much as we thought we had, but we'll make do with what we have. I've plenty here. The small kind of little, they're kind of more stringy looking roots. All of them, I'm going to use them for the tincture. And these big chunky ones, I'm going to chop them up and get them ready for roasting so that we can use these for making dandelion coffee, because everybody loves it. Even all the kids love it. And then we just have these ready here. So I'm going to chop these up and get them ready for roasting in the oven. Going to put them on low for a good long time until you just get nearly all the moisture out of them. We don't want to burn them. You just want to roast them really slowly. So I'll shove them in the oven, and I'll shove in a brown bread probably as well. I'll put them down the bottom, so at least I can get two things done with the oven being on. And these will be put aside for the tincture. Tomorrow I have to go to the shop to get some vodka and some olive oil. Actually, I have olive oil. I just need to get some vodka, but there's no hurry. These will be for tomorrow, and these will be for today. Right, so they're all chopped up now. I'm happy enough to put them in. When you're chopping them up for roasting or chopping them up for putting in your tincture, chop them along where there's kind of the roots get all gnarly and kind of twisted, because you'll find pockets of dirt and everything in them, and then you can give them a really good scrub. I'm happy enough with that now. You don't want to, not looking for it to be absolutely, completely perfect. You know, it is from nature. You're going to have little bits of nature left in it. So I'm happy I've given it a really good scrub. And I've given it 2 or 3 washes, and I've washed it with a bit of cider vinegar. And you don't even have to be that very particular. It's going to be roasted, you know. Rightio, so I just put them on this pizza thing. I just want to see how does that work, because it might just roast them a bit more evenly. But look, at any old thing for throwing it in the oven is fine. And just don't forget about it, because I have done that. I have spent a day foraging for loads and loads of dandelion roots, because everyone loves dandelion coffee here. And I said I'm going to get loads and loads this year, and we got loads, and put them in the oven, had scrubbed them and everything like that, and forgot about them and burnt them all. And oh my gosh, it was so devastating. So don't burn them. Pop them in the oven. Don't forget about it. Put a timer on or something like that if you need to. But I'll be checking on my braid anyway as well. So hopefully I won't forget about them. Just wanted to show you this as well. I meant to show it to you earlier when Rowan was cooking. This is just the carcass from my organic chicken that I cooked, and we brought on our picnic with us yesterday, our camping picnic. So yesterday I put it into the saucepan when we got home, and I started to bring it to the boil and simmer it really slowly for hours. And I simmered it again today for hours, and I've stopped it down, just letting it cool down. And it is just the chicken carcass. There might be a few onions in there from when I roasted it, and all the juices and all that lovely jelly collagen and everything all mixed in together. I'll strain that out, and then I'll oh, it's so yummy. You can drink it like a drink. It's so good, like for anybody that does fasting or intermittent fasting or longer fasts. It's like one of the best things for breaking a fast, because it's so full of really good fat and collagen and all the nice things, good things. And some people even do bone broth fast days, which is really good for your gut and resetting your gut microbiome. Really, really good, really, really tasty. So I drink that, and I portion it out and put it into my silicone Ziploc bags, put it into the freezer, and then that's my chicken bone broth that I'll put into any soup I make. It doesn't matter what it is, I'll throw that in because it's so full of goodness. And yeah, and that's simply how you do it. It's so easy. Rather than looking to get rid of your carcass, just throw it in a pot, loads of water, let it go in a low boil for hours and hours, however long. You can do it for a few hours, but you can do it up to 24 hours, I think. So this is just cooling down, and it'll be ready for freezing. Okay, so our last thing, nettles. Get your marigolds on. Did I miss you? I did, yeah.
Didn't cry?
I didn't cry, no, I knew. No, but I'm very happy you're back. Got water for you. Yeah, so get your marigolds on for your nettles, because even though some of the sting is gone as they start to wilt, there's still a good bit of sting there. And I forgot my marigolds when I was picking them yesterday, so my hands were tingling all night because I picked them all barehanded. So let's get washing, and then we're nearly ready. Nearly have everything kind of ready. This is kind of the hardest work done. You're so cute. You're very cute. So our buttermilk soda bread ready to hop into the oven beside the dandelion root. And yeah, continue on with the nettles then. Now, so our dandelion root is out of the oven. It's nice and dry. I'm happy enough with that. Just make sure when you're storing it to put it in something that there's good airflow in, because there's still a little bit of moisture in them, but these will be used up pretty soon. Or keep an eye on it. You don't want them getting moldy. If you have a dehydrator, you can make sure all the moisture is out. I don't. Bread is out of the oven. That's the next thing done. Okay, before I go to bed, I'm going to try give it a go juicing these plantain. I'm going to dry it off a little bit more, and then I'm going to try and juice it, but I don't have a juicer, so it might not work. So I'm going to use my hand blender. If it works, I'll put the video up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And basically what you want to do is you want to juice your plantain and put equal amounts plantain juice and some honey. Now I was looking for, we usually have a local honey in our shops here from a beekeeper locally, but they didn't have any, so I've just gotten a raw honey from the shop, just a regular one. I got 2 ones actually, depending on how well the juicing goes. So I'm going to start off with a small bit. I'm going to chop them small, see if I can juice it with the hand blender, and yeah. Okay, chopped it up nice and small. Let's see if the hand blender works. Okay, so I blitzed up and I got a 1/4 cup, and you see it actually looks like a mowed grass, so it's not actually juice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the 1/4 cup with a 1/4 cup of honey, and I'm going to juice it all together. There we go. So that was everything that was left in that jar there. Quick evening snack. This is such a nice cheese. It's made with raw milk, and that's an organic salami, and it is so yum. Kids love gherkins, and that's our fresh bread, whilst we're just waiting on our jar to sterilise. So our jar is sterilised. This is all juiced and perfect, mixed up with the honey, and I'm just going to put it into the jar, and that's our plantain succouse. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's basically like a cough syrup. A spoon of it for coughs, or it's good for stomach ulcers as well, I think. Anyway, I'm going to put this phone down. So there you have it, our plantain succouse. It's very shadowy here. 1 little jar. Use it like a cough syrup for bad coughs. You can have a teaspoon of it. Oh, the shadow is really bad. Anyway, that's one thing done before the night's over. And there's a half a jar of roasted, dried plantain root. And we'll make some, maybe we'll make some, well, not plantain root, dandelion root, sorry. We'll make some dandelion coffee in the morning. All right, and we're ready to go. This is everything that we're going to need for doing our dandelion tincture, our plantain tincture, and I'm going to be doing plantain infused oil. This is so quick. Once all of the foraging is done and the things are washed, this is day 3 now. I didn't do anything last night apart from the plantain succouse. This is all I need. Some cheap vodka. The only time you'll ever see me buying vodka is for plant making. Extra virgin olive oil. You can get organic extra virgin olive oil. It's really dear. Like, I would get it for using with salads. For this, because I use so much, I'll be using more than this. It's just a bit pricey, but as long as it's extra virgin olive oil. Got my plantain. Here are some of my jars I'm using. You can use anything. I often just use beetroot jars or pickle jars, you know, the big ones. That's what we use, and a big sharp knife. So I'm just going to chop away here and fill up the jars, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've chopped up the first round of plantain. I've made it nice and kind of smallish, because the more you chop it, the better surface area the vodka has access to when it wants to draw out and extract all the good stuff from the plantain, and the same with the oil. So I just generally give it a good old chop. It's small enough, it's not teeny tiny, but that's fine for me. I'll want to pack them into my jars, and make sure your jars are sterilised. That's another thing as well. Just like you do when you're making jams or anything like that. So I'm going to pack these in. Okay, so both jars are filled. This is a really big one. I think this might be 1.5 litre jar, but that's the one I want for the oil, because I'm going to make loads of salves. And this is, maybe that's a 500ml one, just, I think something like that. But anyway, that one for the tincture. Okay, so literally I'm going to just push that down a little bit so that it's just underneath the neck. And we're going to just fill it up with vodka. So that's actually taken a full 70cl bottle of vodka. I'm going to have to get another one for the dandelion. And then I'm just going to grab a spoon. I'm going to make sure that everything is submerged underneath the vodka. Make sure that the vodka is covering everything so that it doesn't become rancid and go off. And you just keep an eye on it. I'm going to just close it up and put it in a cool, dark cupboard. And every few days, if I think of it, I'll go down and I'll turn it upside down. Give it a shake up every couple of days. Just make sure, or even just turn it upside down, and that way again, to make sure that anything that might be kind of tending to float to the top just gets to be mixed up with it. So close that up, and that's that done. And the next one is my oil. So I'm just gonna, oh, hold on, take the top off. Right, off we go. It's the exact same thing. You're just gonna fill the whole thing up with oil, and then just push down any of the leaves that are rising to the top. And make sure that there's no air bubbles in it before you go putting it away. So we'll see how much oil this takes. Because it's an extra big jar, I reckon it's going to take more than the bottle. But that'll be more infused oil for making salves, so that's good. One bottle has done it. Perfect. And I'll just push down any ones that are sticking out at the top. I'll give it a bit of a shake, make sure there's no air bubbles in it. And then that one is ready to go as well. Upside down, the oil is perfect. It's all covering the top. With the vodka, I'm actually going to get another bit of vodka, which I don't have, and add it onto the top of that, because see how there's so many of them sticking out at the top? So there's more chance of them going rancid. So I'm going to get a bit more vodka to fill it up a little bit more and then push them down. Some people do as well is they get a stone and they get, put it like a weight on top of it, or you can get, I think you can buy special things as well for pushing down the stuff from the top and keeping them weighted down so that nothing floats to the top. But this is just the way I do it. I just make sure that, yeah, have a look at them every so often and make sure there's none just floating to the top, and make sure you have it well covered. Right, so the two of them are being popped away into a cool dark cupboard. I'll check on them in a few days whenever I think of it to shake them up and make sure they're all right. And they'll be staying there for about 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is what they say, but I'll be doing 6 weeks. So I've just been outside and I've just collected a load more dandelion flowers because I didn't have enough from the last day. So I want to infuse them in oil as well to make a dandelion flower infused oil, because I'm going to go making some kind of muscle easing balms and stuff. So as I was out there collecting them, because they're just everywhere still at the minute, there was a little bumblebee who was jumping around from plant to plant, gathering all the pollen and nectar, and it was so lovely. And I mean, it just goes to show, if you keep mowing down and spraying all of your plants and your grass all the time, that the bees are going to lose out on an awful lot of their first food, kind of really, as they're coming out of hibernation and stuff. And leave some there. And like when I was taking them, I'd take 1 or 2 from a plant and leave some there for the bees and everything as well. And I mean, we have hordes of them outside here, so that's a good thing to remember. And also, even today, going in the car, I passed 3 different people out spraying Roundup out around their lawns and any bit of grass and any bit of wildflower that they see. And it's awful, like it's so sad. I really do think that if people had a bit more knowledge of what it is they're doing, and to appreciate these. I mean, like, these don't look like weeds. Look how pretty they are. I mean, like, they're the most beautiful little flower. And not only are they just pretty, but they're so useful. And if people just knew that maybe then they'd think twice about spraying Roundup and glyphosate and all these different weed killers. Because, like, they'd spray that on the lovely dandelion there, and then along comes your lovely bee who goes getting his food, and he's covered in all of that toxic chemicals. Or even all of the worms, like you see them when they're spraying the fields, and then all the worms obviously come up to the top because they're dying or they don't have oxygen, and then the birds come along and they eat them. So it's terrible. It's not living by nature's way, for sure. And I wish that people had a little bit more knowledge so that they could make better choices. So anyway, I'm going to go out and get a few more, I think, to fill 1 jar, and we'll top it up with olive oil. I meant to say I'm going to leave them here for a little while in case there's any little tiny insects on them that need to crawl away before I go using them. Okay, so I had plenty there left out for a while, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of any insects on them, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to top this up. I'm using fresh flowers and I'm not washing them because you can't get them dry if you wash the dandelion flowers, and they're not for eating, so it's totally fine. I'm quite happy to do that. As well, when you're making things like dandelion honey and stuff like that as well, you need the pollen of the flower, so you don't wash them, because you wash all of that stuff away. If you could see my hands are all yellow. See? So a little bit more in there now, and then I'm going to push them all down. I didn't fill the jar. This is just the jar that I had sterilized and ready, so I probably should have used a smaller one, but it's fine. Now, so I'm going to just close this up now, and with different to the plantain and the dandelion tincture that I'm doing, this will be left in a sunny windowsill. You want this to be in a sunny windowsill for a couple of weeks. Keep an eye on it. You don't want it to go rancid. You want to make sure there's no air pockets there and that there isn't loads of dandelions sticking up. And if there is, just every day, push them down until they'll eventually kind of weight down. Or I top it up with a little bit of oil if you need to. And actually, this going on a sunny windowsill, it's actually really sunny at the minute in Ireland, so you can actually leave it outside in a really sunny spot as long as you bring it in when the weather starts to get cooler during the day. But it'll speed things up, and in like a week or two this will be ready. And also a lot of people cover theirs with like muslins or cheesecloths to let the moisture collect any moisture that might be there. I don't have them, so I just make sure that I kind of open the jar and let and check on things every so often, and just make sure that everything is looking good. I just wanted to show you my nettles, which are ready now. I've got my plantain is kind of done. My dandelion is just waiting for some vodka. The grass is going to grow, I know. Hopefully it's going to grow here. But these are washed and dried and ready for me to hang them up or spread them out somewhere to dry. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with them here, because if you have a bit of string, you can bunch them together. You hang them up in, oh, this is too close. There. Hang them up in bunches like that in a shady, airy place. So anywhere in your house that's shady and airy, hang them on the stairs. You could hang them on your side curtain bows, just not in the direct sunlight. And somewhere where the air can circulate with them. I can't find any twine, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm using go-go's, so I'm just going to hang them up. I can tack them up on anything or whatever. So again, it's like whatever you can use to dry them, and then when they're dry we'll be taking just the top bits of the first kind of 6 inches. And like we said as well before, if you have an area with nettles, which most people do, and you keep it kind of trimmed down, all the fresh shoots you can use throughout the year. It's the mature plant and the mature leaves that you can't use. So I'm going drying these for tea. You can also shock and blanch and shock them, which is drop them into boiling water, sift them out, and then drop them into cold water straight away. And you can freeze them in little batches like that, if you want to, either if you don't want to have to go to the trouble of drying them. But I find drying them is the easiest, less time consuming thing for me, so that's just what I do. So I'm going to find some places to hang these up now and get them drying. So I couldn't find enough go-go's to tie them up in bunches, so I've decided to experiment a little bit and use my trusty old box again with some fresh dry newspaper in the bottom. Everything is nice and dry, and I've turned my nettles upside down, so it's the top part that we'll be using, and I've just spread them around here, and I'm going to just keep them in the box and see how I do it. Pretty sure I've done this before in other years, because they're actually not even as bunched in close together as I'd have them if they were in bunches, and I can just keep the box, can move it about when I need to, and I'll be keeping a close eye on them. And the nettles dry out really, really quick. Same with the dandelion leaves, they dry out really well as well. But they'll need to be kind of on a flat surface, they need to not be on top of each other. These are quite handy actually, because I can just stand them up like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so now we're on to our last tincture, our dandelion tincture, and then we are done with our prepping for now. So I've got my leaves, which are all starting to wilt because we're on day 3. It's Wednesday now. We did all the forage on Sunday. That's totally fine. In fact, it's probably even a little bit better because there's less moisture for things to go off. But generally they don't for tincture. I mean, it's vodka. It's high proof alcohol, so that keeps everything nice and sterile. We've got all the rest of our root. Going to chop it up small, and a few flowers that are left over. Right, so our tincture is done, and now I've put out all the remaining dandelions out on this big cardboard sheet that I found, actually folded up inside a box. One of those boxes that you can get from the supermarket, and it's got all little holes in it, so, and it's not sitting flat, so it's letting lots of air come in underneath it, and it's easy to move it as well. And that's the small bit of plantain that we've put out. So woohoo, we're finished for now. Keep an eye on all of these, make sure to turn them every day so that they're all drying out evenly. And let's see how the old plantain goes. Our nettles are doing good. I've tossed them up already today. So yay. So that's it. That's phase one done. If you watched to the end, thanks a million. If you found this useful, let me know in the comments. Or if you're doing your own, if you've decided to go out and do a bit of foraging and get ready and harvest and dry herbs and get your oils and tinctures ready, I'd love to know as well. Also, where are you watching it from? If you're watching this, whereabouts are you in the world? And what sort of herbs have you got there in your back garden? What sort of medicine? Is growing around you where you live. So thanks a million for watching. If you watched this far, keep an eye on your herbs, make sure the ones that are drying that you turn them every day, so that they all dry properly, and we'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks for the next stage of this particular journey of foraging. For our oils and our tinctures, we'll be straining them out and we'll be making all of our fun salves. So in the meantime, see you later. Thanks a million if you've watched, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Bye.